The Swedish company IKEA was first registered in 1943 and now has stores in 55 countries. It started with expanding to Norway in 1963 and most recently to Estonia this year. With the expansion of IKEA, it shows that Sweden has a good team of cross-cultural individuals. Today I'll tell you a few items to help you in your endeavors with Sweden. First, I'll describe the business etiquette when it comes to giving gifts, taking appointments, along with how to handle communications. Second, I will examine the social do's and the don'ts and how Sweden handles corporate social responsibility. Third, I'll discuss where Sweden is located, the gender differences, and the currency that you should take with you on your trip. When giving gifts in Sweden, there are some expected gift-giving events, but one uncommon one that may lose your business deal for you. To begin with, what gifts are expected so that you don't go without one, such as closing business transactions, holiday and thank you cards, and dinner. When going to dinner, the appreciated gifts are flowers, liquor, wine, cake, or chocolates for the hostess, and since Swedes are very family-oriented, small gifts for children, such as candy. When picking out a beautiful bouquet, never pick out chrysanthemums, white lilies, red roses, or orchids, as they're associated with other occasions, as seen pictured here. Now that you know when to take gifts, what about being on time? Punctuality is crucial to any business deal that you will make in Sweden because they like to be on time and it's mentioned as part of the Swedish way of life. Always make sure you give the Swedes their personal space during conversation. Use eye contact because it shows involvement and active listening. After giving gifts and how to use body language, let's look at what you should and shouldn't do in a social environment. Among the things you shouldn't do are getting too personal within conversation and talking about family, income, and personal background. Keep it about the business. Don't argue because a Swede will change the subject. And lastly, never stretch the truth because Swedes tend to be an honest and responsible group. In 2013, Sweden topped the Rebecca Sam Country Sustainability Ranking, which ranks 59 countries based on 17 environmental, social, and governance indicators. Since the 1970s, Sweden has been considered many issues such as climate change, gender, human rights, and anti-corruption. As of right now, they have about 4,300 companies certified for environmental management. They have businesses that promote the use of recycling, sustainable use of resources, minimizing the environmental footprint, and reducing water consumption. When you are put into a meeting with the Swedes, the worst thing that you can say is that you don't care about the environment. Take some time to research the items that the business stands for and take the knowledge of what your company is doing currently. Lastly, let's take a look at where Sweden is located and the types of clothes that should be worn there, gender differences, and their dress, and what kind of currency you should take with you on this business trip. Sweden is in Northern Europe and is bordered by the Gulf of Bothnia and the Baltic Sea, with Norway to the west and Finland to the east. If you're traveling to northern Sweden in the winter months, don't expect much sun because it lies in the land of the midnight sun. However, if you are going in the spring or the summer, you will have continuous sunlight. Southern Sweden never has continuous sunlight. However, they average about 19 hours of sunlight a day. The average temperature is 55 to 63 degrees Fahrenheit, with February generally being the coldest at negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. With the colder temperatures, many people wear snow boots to work and bring along their nice shoes to go with their trousers and blouse for women or suits for the gentlemen. In Sweden, gender equality is an important aspect of the way companies work. So it is common to see women at the top of the ranks in any business because Sweden strives to equal based on skills. The 2012 World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap Report marks Sweden as the 4th in the world based on economic, political, education, and health criteria within the gender gap. And then whenever you go to Sweden, don't want to forget that money. It's called the Swedish krona, which is equivalent to approximately 11 cents US. First, we described the business etiquette when it came to giving gifts, taking appointments, along with how to handle communications and deciphering gestures. Second, I talked about the social do's and the don'ts and how Sweden handles corporate social responsibility. And third, I discussed where Sweden is located and their gender differences and the currency you should take with you. At this time, you should know some specific information on how to handle Swedish business so you can be successful. Now that we know how Sweden is successful, we know why they have so many different successful businesses in other countries such as IKEA, Volvo, and Ericsson.